Hello, this is Gerald Johan van Waas. I gave a lot of attention already to words, how you can describe them from the letter positions, and that you can build a form around it so that it becomes also more clear what is expressed in the letters. Letters are really serious orientations that we deal with, and if we understand it well enough, we also see, okay, it is describing also the objects quite well. Um, a lot of words, if you would describe them indeed like form and direction that you more or less describe the object, it could be even at times a bit boring when you just follow these rules and it doesn't give you anything extra, as if you don't, if there is not always a message in it that says, okay, but here is something that you have to deal with, so be serious here because we have a word here, you have to be serious with it, you have to approach it in a certain way that you're very aware of what the word means. I quickly had a few ideas in my mind, okay, maybe this and this and this word, and then I noticed like it doesn't, some of these words don't really have that strong message immediately. And also some words, if you would really follow the formation process itself and see where it goes to, then you could ask yourself, yeah, is there this extra value there? How is this? Is there really more than some movement? Yes, there is more than movement. The balance in the yin and yang system, we could approach it from very different ways. I'm not going to do that in the yin and yang system as it is in the Eastern, in the Eastern milieus, let's say, expressed and investigated also with other associations that deal with how the elements in also in the body and other elements deal with each other. But sometimes it's good to deal with that to have a better understanding of what really is expressed. And a very good example for this is the word swimming. On the right, you will see, on the right, you will see I'm always confused that I have to use the mirror image here. So on the right is the scheme that is used to as a foundation. This is a resume of what is really behind it. So there's a structure how we choose letters, and the letters themselves have a structure in them, how we distinct them. That I'm not going to talk about that right now, but it matters. It matters, and this structure is almost mathematical, but it's much more than that. It is a balance. It's a structured balance into 1, 2, 3 positions, 1, 2, 3 positions, 1, 2, 3 positions, in 1, 2, 3 variations of that, and some books to prepare you. But okay, let's go for swimming. So the problem could be is that we are starting to form the letters as they can be shown in forms, that all these letters from swimming, or most of them, they fit actually very well with waves, but they're all different waves. But as a wave, yeah, it's all just simply a wave. The S is a wave, it could be expressed as a wave. The W can be expressed as a wave. The M can be expressed as a wave. The N can be expressed as a wave. In different sizes, because S is of course also in the system. It's that white wave, let's say, around us. The W is that just in between that wave. The M is a bit closer, it's the material that has its own vibrations, and the N are the quite small vibrations, but they're all waves. So yeah, how can we compare them? How can we be sure that we are dealing with them? If you have the right sizes, you will come to it as well, but it's not enough. So it's best that you have a bit more contrast than that. And then a to it instead of n, because that's an extra sound. You will have also, you will have actually enough to express it, but it's almost like an intuitive expression then in that way. So, because they're all quite comparable as when you change them into a form to understand what's going on, and with a little bit of different size, it needs, of course, more context than that to be sure that we understand what we are expressing here in swimming. So let's find out what we need to, what we need or can use to make the expression more clear, because just waves, that's not much. The E is as a last letter will of course be something else. That's that feedback system, or also the going into it, so it will make relationships, relationships between these forms, of course, as well. But we need context, of course. A little bit of context is, of course, the directions that are there and the nature of the level of understanding of what we are dealing with. So we are three different kinds of focuses. One of them is really finding the points of reference, so that you have as much as a physical reference as possible, which is in the M, of course. So I could add these points so that I'm sure that, okay, I'm dealing with something materialistic here. The green arrows are about directions, so I add the directions that you really deal with the directions. So the W has directions outwardly, so we focus upon that. The N has a direction upwardly, so that we can take out a wave from somewhere. That will help to give us the right associations. And the red arrows are the feedback system. So these are they also have directions, but that's a feedback system which says, okay, something has an influence, deal with that influence. So that will help already, so we have a little bit more context. In the right order, swimming, so we have that water, so yeah, that will flow like this. With the W, we'll have, an upward, outwardly direction. We have the E is the inwardly direction. The M is the body of the water. The N is that thing that I take out. I could even take out just a single wave. As waves, and in the way how it is expressed, you could actually have another element of the yin and yang system that could help you. And I'm not so 100% good in it because I don't use it. But let's use it just once. Like you have the S, this wave which surrounds us is comparable to the water and how the water behaves and so on. That spreads itself out to all sides until it has this full circle at the end, but it's also a wave in its nature, but that's the way how this behaves. The W itself, it's in the middle, it is more like the air, which also goes sideways and almost disappears. It disappears into thin air, it's disappearing, it's losing its power to the sides. That's more is the wave itself has that strong structure actually. So it has different qualities. So we can use these to associate it with the right element. That makes us realize how we deal with it. We deal with it differently, and it is comparable to these elements. The M as matter. You can also use it as mass. And as mass, you can also use it. You can also find it in water, but I'm not going to be too complicated with that. It's that mass, so you sense it. So where is the density in it? You sense the water. As a matter of speaking as well, the water you can sense as well. but the matter you can sense as well is it's especially the physical qualities that will at that point will be dominating what you sense. It's about sensing, and by sensing it differently, you have a different material. And even when you have waves, you sense different aspects of those waves. Is about connecting. In this case, you don't know where to connect to. It will connect to another concept, another region. In this case, we don't know what it will be. So this will already be helpful. So we will take more of the yin yang system to it, and we'll use that as a helpful tool to express ourselves with the swimming better. In that case, the sui will be this wave which will tend to go to the sideways. With the in, we will go sideways, we will go in. But of course, the word itself will go will have the tendency to go outside all the time. So it will have a feedback after the e. It will also create its direction in the other way as well. So you have the w here as it should be. You have it not just inwardly, so that it follows it inwardly, but it also has that outwardly to get a bit in balance, tries to get in balance. You have the w trying to get in balance. It's reflected. It is connecting with the water, but it will also leave almost like air out. So it is like you have the plunge in the water, which gets air out. The air gets it into two directions in a way. That's the first part of swimming. The m will be the confrontation, where it will meet the water physically. That's the m. That's that carrier of the water itself will be met at that point after the s with the w combined. It will meet the water, and after the water is met, you have not just the counter reaction of the w. You also have that lingering on almost with the swimming, as if you with the ming at the end. It's almost as if the waves are lingering on, and it's just keeping its head above the water. The n is that wave that just comes out physically as well. So you have the physical place where the n always starts. That's you can read in the system. So you have a physical place first, and you uplift it. So what you have is you keep yourself uplifted. So that's what with the in actually is doing. It's repeating actually the effect of the matter also, from the matter and onwards on the matter, even if the directions goes inwardly with its counterbalance. You keep on remaining on top of it. That's what you can understand. It's not for so 100% clear actually, and also not as a form, but we have helping tools. And the more helping tools, the better the expressions also will be. If I just will be very intuitively and just try to express different waves of air, of the w, water, of the s, into matter, of the m, it will be difficult. It also expressions and so on. So I not only have these interactive movements that I try to express, I try to express the differences of density also. But is it enough? I'm not sure. So you have the grayish mass of the water, which are all the waves which are surrounding us. So that should do it more or less. Then I have the extra air that comes in, which I show lighter. so that it goes brighter, so it's thinner, so the structure goes thinner, so it is a bit of a trick. So that's why sw will go from to change its structure together with its movement. Its structure goes thinner as air actually, and it spreads itself as a bit more like air. While the M, I express it darker with a different density. It's darker, there's more matter, so it's also carrying it on the top like the M should be. So you have the expression, okay, yes, it's carrying here a little bit. And then at the end is these last tops of waves that come out that indeed keeps on carrying it in, is not more that lingering on. So I can show it with differences, but I can do better. Maybe with the directions to it, you have more expression. Okay, I have these movements, and then you have the inner movement and the up movement, and once you realize it, if you can even express it with movement as well, with moving images, it will already be more clear what is expressed in the letters combinations and the kinds of and the different densities that are in these letters. Not an easy task actually to do that, but you could do that to express sui, the sui and the ming. Yeah, the letters added as well. But what I will do is I think very clearly what are really the expressions of the waves, and actually these waves, there is of course a different density that you can express, but you can express them even more simple. And I will do that. There are three different waves here, the S, the W and the M, and in this first image I will redo it in a simplification without too many focuses, when you can't have a grip onto a focus in just one go, it's not correct enough, it's not good enough. So here I have different expressions of the waves, and it's not about density in this case, but it's about the qualities that will come forward. How did I do that, and what are the differences? Actually, I looked into the theory what there should be. What there should be in the M is expressed that you see it at the borders, that these blue parts, you see it at the borders, that there is a certain thickness. You focus on the thickness, you focus on the material. So there is, of course, a certain width of thickness, which I can also see from the material, the focus of the material itself. And so I don't even have to look into the top thing if I have the material itself, and I take the center focus of the material and give it a certain width. It gives you the impression of matter. You focus upon matter. So yes, that's a good expression. The W is about waves which linger on and to the sideways. So it is these waves that linger to the sideways is important. It's about direction. W is about directions. That you can read in the theory. So in this way, how I express it with thin endings, that's more like it. Okay, then I have the impression, oh yeah, I have a wave which lingers and fades out almost like in the end. So that's better, that fits with the W. It's a different wave. The S are actually it is also about the waves at the side. What is typical for the waves at the borders at the side of the third category of focus, that you can only see things in context, is it also becomes a bit vague for where is the beginning, where is the ending. So you have these 1, 2, 3 positions always that you have, like I'm not sure anymore where it is. So it's better to have also 3 positions, so that you have the impression it's about waves in its very wide sense, so that in the end you will have a feedback inwards, because it's there are so many conditions in S that it's about that. It's about conditions which change all the time, which are different all the time. So that's a completely different kind of waves, and that's why this kind of expression is well. So if we now express swimming with that, it, in a very simplistic way, it will already be clear. And here it is. I have the S, this background waves. It should be in the background. It's the biggest waves. The W, which comes in and has to go in as well. So I have this inward move sideways, but of course with the directions that it will tend to disperse. So I have the dispersion here in the wave while it's still going in as well, and then meeting after that meeting the M, which has a certain density. So the swim, it's almost like the bird which jumps into the water, or the swimmer which jumps into the water. We don't have the impression of the swimming itself, of lingering on and continue to do so. No, it's almost like you jump into the water and you count on the conditions here. The count on the conditions that the matter will carry you, that you can jump in, that you can do all these things to go for the swim. So it's almost like the first action, whatever reaction that comes from it. It's not just jumping in the water, it's jumping into certain conditions. Swimming then. The swimming will have an extra M, so I have an extra density underneath, let's say, an extra density to it, with another E, so that you have another idea coming in, and what is coming in, the N says, okay, I will be able to do that. I will be able to linger on. I have an extra materialization of what I am counting on the rest, on the end, counting on the matter aspect, on that aspect. And that big thing on top will give you the impression, okay, this is about my concept, about the concept of swimming. That's more or less the impression that it will give you. That's what the G will do. It will give you, okay, I have an extra contextual idea beyond it. I focus upon that. It's connecting to it via the N, and because I can keep myself floating onto that water, in this case with that swimming, because now I can count on that matter, that last element of all the different features that are already met in S, W, and then M. M is the end result. I can count on that end result. Is that the only expression you can have with swimming? No, it isn't. I emphasized a little bit like the jumping into the swimming pool, but if we emphasize like all the waves again, and how we approach it, this was so we can approach the word as what can I do with it, how can I approach it, and what will I meet there, and what are the conditions there. That's one approach. The other thing is that I can describe it into a much longer sense and say, okay, what I'm going to see here, what we're going to sense here, and how I'm going to deal with that during this process a little bit slower. That's another way to express it. You have the same meeting points of waves. When I jump in immediately following the S, I could even go a bit more smoothly, follow the waves a little bit more, and see how the swim will go, and see where it goes away. So what my intention always is, I want to have a continuance. I want to not just go to it and then be confronted very hard. I can also take the time. Let's go and take the time with these waves into one go. If I do that, I have the same waves, and I will meet them one by one. I meet the letters one by one, now from down to top, and I go until this big wave of the S. I go to the smaller wave. I swim here to the side, which is still fitting with the W. What do I do there? There I meet immediately something in there. When I do this, when I have my swim, I will push the water aside and I will sense the water, the M. Now this is one of the qualities of M. I will sense in it, in both ways. So in the pressure left, in the pressure right, and that, well, I do, but I can keep my head up all the time, and this is my concept. It's another way to express it. It's the same thing. It's only not so quick. This is the whole way of swimming through all the letters. Does this mean then that I understand the word when I just go for the relaxed mode and go for the swim like this? No. For experiencing a word, you also have to, just like with swimming, you still have to jump in and go for the full picture, go for the confrontation, and then, okay, go and relax. My message of today was actually something like, don't make it too simple, or think it is all of these things are too simple. Every word has a kind of secret in them, and it's just not just about positions. It's not just about a certain balance. These balances can be sensed also in a kind of different ways, but this balancing out of letters, it's like an entry point. It's like a door towards a whole set of rules that express actually the word in many different ways. If you can express it also with a little bit more color, as I did also today, then you could associate it too simple as it sometimes seems to express with a direction, with a form. No, this balance is really expressing a whole set of conditions, also from balanced out conditions that you can deal with, can learn to sense also better. And this video was an expression of that. Thanks again for watching. Bye bye.